consider as success?
Everybody measures success differently. People set their goals high, some set low. For me, I always try to reach for the moon, the stars.
Right.
I always try to be the best at what I do.
Right.
Do it with a style. And I guess if people judge you, they like what you're doing, then it's successful.
Right.
If they don't like what you're doing, it's not successful.
Uh-huh.
And so, although you can set your goal very high, you have to have people to buy into your vision, to buy into what it is that you're trying to do. And that's basically the way I've always measured success. Aim to be the best at whatever you do. If you aim for first class, you might get to business class. If you aim for business class, you get to economy. If you aim for economy, you'll go broke. Sometimes you'll have problems that they didn't teach you how to solve in school. If you have confidence in yourself and don't be afraid to make mistakes, nothing is wrong with failing. Learning from your failure will help you to will make you a much stronger person. So take chances, but calculated risks. And with that, I think you'll be very successful.
In the past, you mentioned about world class,
First
class and
yes.
world class.
Yes.
How do you define being, in first class?
As an entrepreneur, or even not an entrepreneur, in life, it's easy for me to equate, I fly so much, to first class, business class, economy class. And I've always traveled first class, even when I was young, just from myself. I always believed that if someone else can do it, why can't I? Why should they sit in first class and not me? If there's something I want to do, I try to aim for first class because I always say, I preach this many times, if you aim for first class, many times you get to business class. If you aim for business class, you get to economy. If you aim for economy, you'll go broke. So set your standards, even if you're in school, even if you're taking an exam, try to be the best. Try to really outdo everyone else. And once you do that, your marks will be somewhere up. It might not be the best, but it'll be somewhere up there. You take a little of everything, put it together, and you create an entrepreneur. Innovation and insight go back to what I always talk about, creativity. Taking the norm, giving it a twist, making it feel a little bit different. So everything needs a little twist. Everything needs a reason to sell your product. I lead a very interesting life. Everything I do has to be creative. I love creativity. I love creating things. Making things, taking something that's normal and giving it a twist, making it better. Usually, if you create something that's nice, that's different, I always think out of the box. I always try to challenge myself. I look at things through different eyes. When I first became chairman of Ocean Park, I knew nothing about theme parks. It was a new thing for me, and it was really my first press conference. All the press was there, and we developed a jellyfish attraction, and we were going to introduce the jellyfish attraction. And I was just new to the park, and I said to my marketing team at the time, I said, what do you have planned for this? I've never done a press conference like this. And so they said, well, we have 4 little girls dressed as jellyfish. And of course, I'm always busy, and I said, well, you know what if I dress as a jellyfish? And they looked at me like I was crazy. The chairman of Ocean Park dressed as a jellyfish. And I thought to myself, if I'm chairman of a bank, I've got to wear a suit and tie and look very, very prim and proper. Theme park is really about fantasy. It's really about fun. It's something different. And so Allan Zeman dressed in a suit and tie and jacket doesn't mean anything.
Kind of boring.
And so and so and so they looked at me like I was crazy, and I said, yeah, why not? And 2 weeks later, the press was all outside, the photographers, and I came to the park, and I saw the 4 little girls dressed as jellyfish, and I tried my costume on. I looked in the mirror, I looked ridiculous. And I thought to myself, oh my God, how could I go out looking like this? But, everybody was already there, the press. I thought, okay, let's just do it. And I went out there, and they went crazy. For Hong Kong, we need a lot of creativity. We have a lot of competition now from Macau, China, Southeast Asia, everywhere around us. So we need to keep coming up with new things, keep coming up with fun things. So it's very, very important. And for myself, I always look at things through the customer's eyes, through consumer's eyes. I never look at it being the boss. For me, I always like to look at things from other people's point of view. And if I think that they will like it, that they'll appreciate it, then I think it's good. I was just interviewing, we wanted one of the local chains from Hong Kong, Chinese restaurant, to come to Hainan, to Haikou. I was having dinner with the owner, and he said they're in Shenyang, up in the northern part of China, and they were bringing Cantonese food to Shenyang. Well, they opened up. The acceptance wasn't that good. Like dim sum, people didn't really go for it.
Right.
And so he had no choice. He had to re-engineer his menu to gear more towards the Shenyang cuisine, keeping a few Cantonese dishes, but really predominantly Shenyang. Once he did that, the numbers took off. People started to accept it. So you have to really understand, evolve.
Changing.
You must understand, even if it's a magazine, understand who's my reader. If you create something that's great, that's really what I call user-friendly, people will come. Which I'm also very passionate about. I love that. But we try to make as much as we can to bring fun and happiness and change people's lifestyles. First of all, I tell everyone, whatever you're doing, you must love what you do. If you don't love it, you won't be good at it. So I don't look at myself as a businessman. Obviously, I learned in business, there's many different ways. The most important thing is the bottom line, to come out with a profit, not to lose money. I realized a long time ago, simple is best.
Okay.
I love everything I do, and so it's fun to be there. It's fun to be with the people, and by doing that, you can then inspire your staff, inspire your people. I've said this many times. In my world, there's no bad staff. There's bad bosses, bad leaders.
Right.
Because staff comes to work, most staff every day. They want to know what's expected of me. What does the company expect from me? Where's the company going to be in the next 2 years, 3 years? What's my job? Once it's up to the leader, it's up to the boss, the CEO, to paint the picture for the staff. Tell them where the company's going, what's expected of them, where do we want this company, make them think, give them a chance to come up with their ideas.
自從接受政府委任做海洋公園主席之後，盛智文每次公開露面都係扮鬼扮馬。
It's just part of, Ocean Park. It's a theme park, and you do what you have to do.
Ich bin Schnappi,
佢試過扮水母。
Komm aus Ägypten, das liegt direkt an mir. Zuerst lag ich in einem Ei, dann schniep
扮熊貓飼養員。
Schnie, schna, schnappi, 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 schnapp. Schnie, schna, schnappi, 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 schnapp.
仲反串做森巴女郎。
Ich bin Schnappi, das kleine Kuh.
每一次出現，盛智文都係攝影機同記者嘅焦點。
As chairman, it shows not just for the guests, but also for the staff, that the chairman also can have fun, can also, the chairman, everybody looks up to the chairman. So if the chairman can do it, so can everyone else, and everyone can have a good time. Yes, I work out for the last 38 years. I work out every morning. I do almost an hour and a half every day in the gym.
Exercise.
Yeah, exercise. I think it's so important. It clears your mind. First thing in the morning, you're able to face the day. You know, that's when you ask me, how can you do so many things at one time? I find it really helps me to relax. I mean, I love exercise.
So what time do you wake up usually?
Usually about 6 in the morning.
That's early.
It's sometimes 5:30.
5:30.
But yeah, I'm lucky because I don't need to sleep that much. You know, usually I go to bed around midnight or 11:30 or 12, and 5.5, 6 hours is maximum for me.
盛智文入主之後，為海洋公園重新定位，唔單止個月有特別活動，仲參考外國遊樂場設計獨一無二嘅紀念品。
太好了。Okay. Wow. Beautiful.
Yes.
盛智文將海洋公園起死回生。喺2006年，海洋公園有1億5千萬盈餘，入場人次超過500萬，創歷史新高。
And everyone I know loves the Halloween here at Ocean Park. It's become a real tradition, not just at Ocean Park. Lan Kwai Fong, we were the first ones to introduce Halloween to Hong Kong. Nobody knew what Halloween was. We started Halloween about 25 years ago because Halloween was an American holiday. I grew up.
It is also, the Halloween is also copying the other
Now
places in China.
everywhere. Well, we brought Halloween to Lan Kwai Fong Chengdu. The first year when we brought Halloween there, people didn't know what it was. And so I had to tell my staff, let's hire 65 students. We dressed them up as ghosts, as local ghosts, and we dressed up the whole area. And it was a huge success the first year. Last year, we had Halloween for 4 nights. We decided to do it 4 nights. We had 150,000 people over the 4 nights. And people started dressing up, same as in Hong Kong. People loved it. It was just amazing. And so it's become a really great event. And now every city in China is adopting Halloween. It's become a national holiday. And it's fun. It's great. It makes young people feel very, very, it gives them a sense of release. They can dress up and they can have a lot of fun.
唔講唔知，原來政府委任佢做海洋公園主席，呢份工係1毫子都冇㗎。
I've done well growing up, living here in Hong Kong, so I feel it's my duty to pay back. And I don't really want anything from it. It's the most, you can't explain the payment from watching the little children, watching their faces when they're so happy and smiling and seeing the new pandas or seeing other things here. Money can't buy that. I don't care how much money whoever the richest man in Hong Kong has. Just seeing the children and seeing the older people and seeing the happiness that it brings to Hong Kong people, it's worth spending my time to contribute to this success. You know, marketing is a very broad-based word. Everything is marketing, basically. If you have a vision and create something, I like to live in a beautiful world. I like to live in a world where everyone gets along, everything is nice, creating beautiful things, and so marketing comes hand in hand with that.
喺香港，冇乜公司嘅最高領導人會咁樣瞓身宣傳，但係盛智文就好唔同，連介紹一件嘢食或者係新紀念品，佢都親力親為。
9蚊至到200幾蚊都有啊。
Do we have any Jija Gongjai? No, my style of management is not one that everybody is very uptight and very worried about things. For chairmen of companies, CEOs of companies, it's important that they understand the kind of business that they are in. At the end of the day, even though you dress like this or whatever, you still remember that it's a business, and so we have to make a profit. And I realized at that point, because Disney had a lot more money than we did, and so I always say think think smart. We didn't have the budget. We didn't have it, but I needed to do something that was special. If I was dressed in a suit and tie, there's no way I would have been on the front page of the newspapers. But dressed as because media and newspapers also need something special in order for them to sell their newspapers.
The gimmick, right?
The gimmick. And so that was a perfect thing for them. It helped them to sell as well, but it didn't cost me anything for advertising. And so it worked. It was a win-win situation. And from there, it just continued. Every time we had an event, I dressed up in different costumes. And although I felt ridiculous most of the time, but it was, I did it for the park. And it became kind of a marketing ploy. But, and I really felt it. You know, it was fun. The most important thing is when you're trying to market, don't be phony. Don't be fake. If you're real, be yourself. People can understand. People can feel it. If you're fake, there's a lot of fake ads around, and I believe those people just throw out money because most people don't read it.
So you got all the respect from everyone.
And I think that's really important to be very different.